Hey Chris, welcome to the MasterCard Cup. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position, and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your dress position, let's first of all take a look at your posture. Spine straight and on a tilt. It's too vertical. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. You then hold your arms out in front of you off that vertical spine, and then the club works out to the ball. So if I'm going to work on your golf game here, what we would do is we would push your tail out and up, push your sternum out, up, and forward. And what that's going to do, it's going to increase the angle that your spine is set on. And we need to achieve a better spinal axis because that's the axis point at which the entire golf swing functions around. From here we can keep your legs exactly unlocked as they are. Your arms would hang down so your hands get a little closer to your thighs, and then the golf club can work out to the ball. So redefining your starting position from sort of this tall position with your spine, pronating your hands and arms out away would be ideal. From here we want to take a look also at your alignment. We can see here that your feet are set up closed. Carry that out towards the fairway. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera would have an appearance of converging. Under this scenario, we can see that your lower body is aimed out to the right side of the fairway towards the right rough, just inside this tree line. What I want you to notice, though, is that your subconscious brain understands that the target is back over here, and basically what's happening is you're setting the rest of your body open in accordance to your feet. So a little tough to see because we're wearing dark clothing, and the sun was sort of beaming right down on the camera lens here, so it's a good quality camera, but it does its best here to try and still get a good image with that sun still shining right into it. But anyways, your forearms are way left and your shoulders are way left, and you're stacking your upper body open to your lower body because, again, your subconscious brain is telling you, hey, I got to get this ball back towards the center of the fairway. Okay, so one of the things we like to do is we like to get all these lines running parallel left of the actual target line in the center of the fairway. So what's going to happen here is, because your shoulders and arms are set up so open, you're going to end up swinging the golf club from outside to inside, trying to pull the ball down that red arrow, and hopefully, somehow getting that ball back to the center of the fairway. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison, and we'll use Jordan Spieth on the left side of the screen. Now we've got some color-coded lines up on the screen just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. Before we get talking about the dynamic move, let's just look at the posture with Jordan Spieth that I was referring to. So his spine is, definitely on more of a tilt. Hands and arms are hanging, clubs working out to the ball. Definitely look at his alignment. Look at where his feet are going. His knees and his hips and his shoulders and arms are all running in the same spot. So I want you to pay attention a little bit more to the shoulders and the arms. So what you really want to do here is you want to take your shoulders and arms and turn them clockwise to square them up to your feet. And then we need to take that whole structure and we need to turn it left to get you running parallel left of your target. From here, as we take a look at the golf swing, simply want to initiate the backswing by turning the shoulders, drawing the arms and hands back as well as the golf club. Want to see the club coming back on plane directly along the red line. In the early stages of the golf swing, we want to also establish some good wrist hinge into play, whereby we're going to transition the club head from currently being below and in front of our hands to getting that club head above and behind our hands. And then from here, we're going to work the club from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we're going to see that the left arm of the club are situated hopefully either on the yellow line, anywhere in between the blue-yellow V zone, or physically up on blue. We also want to create full shoulder rotation. We want to do this about a stable right leg, and we also want to create this rotation off of the posture axis of our spine that we achieved at address. So I'm going to just point this out for you, and we're going to take a look at Jordan Spieth's spine, of which, let me just clear that off, just make it a straight line, of which his spine, why did that not clear? Of which his spine is set at about 54 degrees or so. So if I go back down to address, you're going to notice the spine's in the exact same position. So you set that axis, you rotate on that axis. That's the whole point of achieving good posture at address. So with you, you're going to be rotating off an axis that's very tall. Let's go ahead and watch you initiate your takeaway here. So hands come back, you're turning your shoulders. Everything looks really, really good. I want you to notice right about here, your shoulders and arms are actually now square to your hips, knees, and feet. Okay? So that's actually where I want you at address. But notice the club's already traveled back at least 2 feet. Okay? So we want your shoulders and arms in this position, but with the club behind the ball. As we continue to move this golf club back, want to get some wrist hinge into play. So that looks superb. That's nice job right here. Let's continue to take this up to the top, see where we set things. When you finally get to your set position, pretty decent position. I mean, you've rotated your shoulders quite nice. Pretty stable right side. Arms are still good geometry relative to your core. Club's in pretty decent position relative to your arms. And you've rotated on the axis that you set at address, which was quite tall. So obviously that would need to change, but it can only change if you change it at right from the beginning. Okay. But overall, you've done a pretty nice job with your backswing. From here, as we create our transition back in the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right side to our left now. Fire our knees and our hips laterally to the target, unwind our core, and fire our hands. And in doing so, we want to make sure we're bringing the golf club from that blue-yellow V zone, wherever we set it, and that we're bringing the golf club back down onto red. And that's exactly what we can see here with Jordan Spieth. The golf club is returning back to being on plane. At this point in time, want to observe the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. We refer to this as the backwards check mark. Simply means the club head right now is remaining above and behind our hands coming into the hitting zone. And this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing. Let alone he's also going to hit the ball straight due to the fact that the club has returned back to plane, which is a main criteria in producing straight golf shots. Let's go ahead and watch your transition back into the ball here. So your hands do come over the top, sort of down yellow out towards blue. So when we make that over the top move, you can fight all day long to try and keep your club head behind your hands, but you're going to really lose the battle here, and the club's not going to return back to plane. So unfortunately, if we mark your club head, what we can see is that the golf club is definitely not returning close enough back to its plane. And then as we go into the next frame, it's going to fall further out in front and just continue to fall further and further in front of our hands here. Okay? So if we just sort of connect the dots, we can get a pretty good visual as to what that descending plane looked like from over the top, how steep the club's approaching the ball, and then therefore it's going to be attacking the ball from out to in. Again, what we notice with Spieth is as club returned to plane here, that would have been your frame right here. It's not on plane. And then what we also notice is that he tracks into the ball directly from this red line. And as I stated earlier, this is what produces straight golf shots in accordance to our alignment. Lastly, assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. Okay? So at this point in time, seeing the downswing planes are vastly different, we can take a look at the physical path of the club now. We can see with Jordan, his club is inside, the ball expands out to make contact and moves through in a nice natural subtle arc. Your club is stuck outside the ball, dropping down and across to make contact and keeps moving across. Okay? So very simply put, if you were to square the club face up to that path, well, obviously you're probably going to pull the ball in that direction. Well, that direction again is the center of the fairway. And I'd stated to you that that's your compensation. So we had mentioned that you were set up just inside the tree line. You're attacking the ball from outside, hitting the ball, pulling the club to the inside, and you're hoping to pull that ball down the red arrow towards the red flag. And if all the timing ends up, you'll either hit what I refer to as a pull straight shot or a subtle pull fade or a subtle pull draw, and you will find your intended target. The problems arise is when you over-release the club to this red path, what's going to happen is not only will you pull the ball back at red, but now we've imparted right to left spin, and you're going to hit some form of a pull draw or pull hook. If you leave the club face too open to the same red path, incredibly, we will start the ball over here, and then the ball has left or right spin, and we're going to hit some kind of a pull or block slice. So the end result of the golf shot is dictated based on the timing of the club face. If we over-release the club to the red path, we hit a pull draw or pull hook and it follows blue. If we under-release the club to the same path, we sort of hit more of a block slice, follows yellow. And again, if we time it properly, like I said, you will hit a pull straight shot or a subtle pull draw or subtle pull fade, and the shot will likely turn out. I like where your right heel is through impact, same as with Spieth. Just want to pay attention to the rest of your footwork here and see if you get through to a good finish, of which you do. So that looks great. We don't really need Jordan Spieth anymore at this point in time. I do want to look at your club face through impact, see exactly what it did, just to know what the golf shot did. So club face coming in, club face squared up to the path. The ball is headed left. Hopefully it's far enough right of that big tree, and then that ball will fade back to the right, and how much will be indicative to how open that club face was. Okay, so you obviously see that your golf ball flies from left to right when you hit good golf shots. If you happen to square that club face too much, you'll find you hit it low and left, and if you leave it too open, you'll find that you lose the ball to the right. Anyways, if at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects of your golf game, I'm located over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to structure a little program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, and you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, feel free to reach out. Be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyway, your athleticism here looks real nice. Your hands work real well. They come back, they fire through. Your core works well. You coil, you uncoil. You got good footwork that allows you to get through to a good finish. So the overall general swing motion looks really, really nice. Most importantly, as a recap, need to change that posture. Need to change your alignment so that your shoulders and arms are getting squared up to your feet, and then we got to get your feet and the rest of your body running parallel left of your target. At that point in time, backswing looks pretty good, and then ultimately we really need to get rid of this over-the-top move where we're attacking the ball from out to in, swinging left, at that point in time having to compensate with the club face so we don't hit wayward shots too far to the left or too far to the right. Okay? Anyways, hope you had a fabulous day. Sorry. Just losing my voice there. Hope you had a fabulous day, and hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.